Subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to get our latest updates.
What families can do at home?
For example, now during COVID times, some patients have started drawing activities, coloring activities, and when they are doing it regularly, we have seen an improvement also. That is, that is what I wanted to get the photographs so that you can see that there is improvement, even though they are suffering, from dementia. They have been writing or even, reading some excerpts from the books. We have language activities, mathematical activities, all kinds of, there is nothing that we don't do, really speaking. Puzzles, quizzes, jokes, all kinds of activities we do. And even at home now, we have a patient who is a dancer. So she has been doing that. Then there are some others who are doing cooking now. They are involved in household chores, they are gardening, they are going around doing something, some task, which entertain them. And another thing here is that the caregiver has to work with the patient. The activity doesn't have to be perfect. The activity may need some support or some supervision, but what is important is an engagement. That is important. And another thing is, never tell a patient you do this. It's not you do this, it is let us do it together. If it is done together along with the family as a group activity, then the response from the patients is much better, and all the family members can enjoy them, and they can, from one activity they can go on to the other one, and then they get ideas, they become creative, and they start with this activity regimen, and it is good not only for the patient but for the whole family.
Right. Thank you, Mangala. Gomti, can you share some examples of some of the activities that you have been doing both with the caregivers, and also are you also facilitating these activities with the patients?
Yeah, so my mother-in-law, she used to sing, so I used to encourage her to sing. She loved to play card games also. She would play with us. She used to do the Sudoku on the Times of India newspaper. As soon as it comes, she would grab the paper from us and she used to do Sudoku. She was very good at mathematics. She also used to come for yoga classes. That is during the initial stage. But as the disease started progressing, she completely, lost touch with that. She used to scrape the coconut for me. And then she used to love that activity. She used to love to prepare dosa because she loved to eat dosa. She would come to the kitchen to help to make dosa. All those activities keep her, engaging sort of, and also happy. Those are the things she liked to do.
Yeah. One question that's come in, my mother has osteoporosis, so she can't walk now. Gradually, she's pretty much confined to the bed. She sits for her food intake 3 times, but during those times, we cannot make her sit for more than 15 minutes. So how to make her a little active? I play Ludo, but what else can I do? Any suggestions from anybody on the panel?
Sure. Can I kind of quickly answer that question? This is a very common problem in elderly because they often, as I said, come with multiple associated medical problems. So we just need to be very creative and think out of the box sometimes to help them engage. So some of the activities could be done in a resting posture. They could sit down or lie down and do some activities. There are various exercises which are available. If you consult a physiotherapist, they can kind of advise on sitting exercises and even bed exercises. Some of the movements can be passive movements to begin with, and as they develop muscle strength and they become a little bit more confident that they can do some of the exercises themselves. It's absolutely essential that you don't feed someone lying down because they can't sit up. You can get a recliner bed or prop up on their back with some pillows so that they can sit up and then they can eat. I mean, they don't have to sit without support. They can sit with support, with a backrest. And those are some of the simple advice that I can give. There are plenty of simple kind of machines and things which are available right now for exercises, kind of a pedaling for like this, for people who cannot walk, who cannot bear weight on their knees or their hips. They could use a pedal exercise, which is currently, we just can sit in a chair and you can do that.
Right.
And similarly, if you contact a physiotherapist, they should be able to advise you on what exercises might be appropriate.
Okay. Okay. Mangala, do you have any other suggestions of activities that she can do?
She can do activities, like language activities, mathematical activities, depending on her interest.
Right.
Because basically we have to find activities on the basis of their past and their interest. The activities, any kind of games, the family, as I suggested earlier, the family can do some games with her, because if she can sit, or even though she doesn't sit, you can ask some funny questions, as Gomathi was saying. You can have some activities where you ask some questions and or give some clues and ask them to make a story. There are so many things that you can do. And even though she has these physical problems, she can still do things, throwing a ball, she can catch a ball, and that also becomes an activity. Because I have noticed that even in the later stages, games are still interesting for the patients, even though they cannot do anything else, they can still do this. And coloring activity is also something everybody can do. And while coloring, you have to find the drawings which adults can enjoy. For example, geometrical drawings or mandala drawings are some of the things that elderly people enjoy, because they really look nice when you color them, and you can really put them up on the wall and show that he or she has done this. So and they can contact us. We can always suggest some activities for them.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Mangala. Dr. Sridhar, did you raise your hand?
Yes, I did. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
Just kind of a quick add-on to what Mangala has just mentioned. I think she's hit the nail on its head to say that you choose activities based on the person's past interests and their abilities. I mean, what they can do at this point in time. So when we choose an activity, it's important that it kind of stimulates multiple sensations. You choose an activity which can stimulate their vision, can stimulate their hearing, can stimulate their touch, smell and taste. So you build in various activities. Need not only be one-to-one, and it need not be something which you have to actively do with the person. There are some activities the person can do by themselves, like when Gomathi mentioned her mother-in-law cooking for her or helping with cooking for her. So when you actually cook, it kind of gives you all the senses are stimulated, and that's the best way to engage someone. And of course, there will be variations when someone is not able to hear very well, when someone cannot see very well, and there are limitations to what they can do. But again, look at what their strengths are. What is it that they do have at this point in time? What their interests have been before? What is meaningful to them? And then design an activity. It can be tailor-made to any specific situation. We just need to be creative and think outside the box sometimes.
Right. So on cooking, right, there's often a lot of fear that caregivers have that, should I allow them to cook, because what if they get burnt and things like that, right? So any comments or any suggestions on that? Gomathi, how did you handle that? Was there ever that concern?
Yeah, better to be, doing that under a supervision. So allowing them to be in the kitchen so that we are also there.
Right.
Just have a watch on what is happening.
Right.
Because as I said earlier, she picked up the phenyl bottle and thought it was milk. That was quite a dangerous thing to do.
Absolutely.
Luckily, nothing happened. So, but then it is always good to be, supervising them as to what is happening and what they are doing.
Right.
That will help. And allowing them to do what they like. If they love to do work in the kitchen, so be it. But then we need to be around.
Sorry, Mangala, you were saying something.
Yes, I wanted to say that music is an all-time favorite activity, and everybody loves music. And you can make it more challenging by playing instrumental music, because then they start singing the words. You can also have Antakshari, but then you can ask them to find songs with a particular word in it. or songs, for example, which relate to the flowers or something like that. You give them clues, and then they start doing this and they enjoy it. You know, music activities in any form are extremely enjoyable to the patients.
And
That's
they're
all I
easy to
wanted
do.
add.
And
They are easy to do, and you can find variations in these activities. Once you start doing something, then you definitely get different types of ideas.